Hello YouTube, welcome back to the life of a virtual cargo pilot. I'm your host Captain Mac, and this is a long overdue episode, and I think we're long overdue on another episode in the life of a virtual airline pilot as well, so I'm going to try and knock one of those out this weekend. But today we're going to knock out another flight here with National Virtual Airlines, and I thought it's only appropriate because we're actually doing a live stream here in a few hours, which will be the third one. I'm very excited about it. They've been a lot of fun. I actually really have a lot of fun on those live streams, so thank you all for those of you that participate, and those of you that haven't had a chance. I'm going to probably do more of them on Sundays and try and vary the time so that more of you get an opportunity to join us there. So I hope to see you there. That being said, I think I already said that once. Anyway, with that in mind, I thought it would only be appropriate that since clearly the voting has indicated that you all want to see a flight in the 757 today, I thought, well, it won't hurt to do two videos, because obviously we'll get a video out of that. Come on, brain work. We'll get a video out of that live stream. So I thought, well, let's do our next life of a virtual cargo pilot video in the 757. And I figure we haven't actually done any videos in that yet, so I imagine, I hope that you guys won't feel overwhelmed or that it won't seem redundant that I did a live stream with a 757 and the next video for life of a virtual cargo pilot in a 757. That's what we're going to do today. Now, I looked at doing the flight down to KMEM. I'm still holding on to that one for one of you who have asked for me to conduct that flight. And I took a look at FS Dream Team scenery. So I don't know. Is that the scenery you were waiting on? I don't recall. But if it is, then we'll take another look and we'll go from there. If it is not, remind me once again what scenery it is that we're waiting on to do that, because I want to make sure we get that flight in for you. So we're not going to do that one today because obviously I don't want to mess that up. So I went ahead and grabbed one down here, and I know somebody asked about flying into the Bahamas, and I went through the comments. I couldn't find MYGF, but I do know that MYGF is down in the Bahamas. So this probably isn't the airport that you asked for, but at least it's something. So we'll get started with that, and then, you know, once again, we can always hop back that direction to a different airport if necessary. I couldn't find the comment where you had asked to fly down there, so my apologies for that. But either way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this flight here, NCR 131, in the Boeing 757, which I, of course, have the Quality Wings version, and it's from KSFB to MYGF. So let's take a quick look at it here. And that is Orlando to Freeport International, which is down in the Bahamas. Let's see, departing and arriving weather. We will not be using the weather from these guys today. Instead, we'll be using the weather from Active Sky 2016. That's right, ladies and germs. If you didn't get a chance to join me on the last live stream and you haven't seen the video yet, you will learn that a friend of mine, my man, one of our subscribers, Shaker Empty, he has been so generous that he decided he wanted to purchase the Active Sky 2016 for me, and so that's what we'll be using for our weather today. As far as the route is concerned, we're obviously going to pull that from PFPX as always. We don't need their charts. We're getting those from Navigraph. So there you go. That's basically your flight briefing. So what do you say we hop on over into the sim, get the ACARS fired up, and get going? Alright folks, let's take care of this ACARS real quick. It's always nice and easy with the smart cars. I like it. Hop over here to flights. You can see we've got the same three in there that we saw on the website, and we're going to be taking this last one down here to MYGF. It's not very far, 190 nautical miles. Looking like it should be a pretty short flight, so that's good. We'll enjoy that. And it looks like the flight time is Saturday or departure time is Saturday or Sunday. It doesn't show a flight duration time or anything. It's kind of interesting. I think it's going to take us longer than 0 minutes to get there, though. So we'll go ahead and click on fly here. Looks like this is a passenger flight. And just so that you're aware, National Virtual or the Real World National Airlines, they do charter flights where they charter passengers. So yeah, we're going to have 175 on board today. It's got our flight set for 33,000 here. I didn't actually look. Let me pop it up over here. What's our initial cruise altitude? 290. We'll see how the fuel looks, and then we'll probably step up from there. I'll show you this flight plan here in a second, but we're good with that. I'm okay with 33,000. We can actually change it on here. I don't know if I've ever shown you that, so if I need to, I will. Let's try generate load. 50 is not enough. Oh, it dropped way down. Let's go with 175, huh? 175. And start. Alright, pre-flight is started. We're flying offline and we're good to go. So we can shrink that down. And there she is, ladies and gentlemen. The beautiful and venerable 757. This is my favorite airplane. At least for civilian aircraft. This is my favorite civilian airplane. I love the 757. I love the way it looks. I love the way it flies. I love everything. It's a beautiful airplane. Now, the only thing that I like better than this 757 right here is a 757 with winglets. And the reason is, and I'm coming to this view on purpose, especially when you have winglets on this thing, if you look at this aircraft from this view right here, it looks like a bird of prey to me, like a hawk or something. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe I'm just being a dork, but I love this airplane. This thing's fantastic. Let's hop inside here, and as you can see, we've got a cold and dark flight deck, which is exactly how we want it to be. That being said, let's pull this flight plan over here real quick. Now, I didn't put any ballast fuel in here, and to be honest with you, it's been quite a while since I looked at the come on, brain function. Since I looked at the manual for this thing. I've got the checklist, of course, and done plenty of flights in this, but I haven't looked at the manual in a long time, and I don't know what the unusable fuel is. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little extra. That's what I always do anyway. So our captain's fuel is just going to be a little higher than normal. So our release fuel on here, we've got 12,094 pounds. We'll call it 12,100. And then let's go ahead and we're going to add 5,000 pounds to that. Now that may seem like a lot, but it's just a precaution in this case. And again, we know that that's not necessarily the best way to do it. We do strive for some realism here, but that doesn't make me perfect. If somebody knows just off the top of their head, or maybe you've flown a 757 in the real world and you know what the unusable fuel is, do me a favor, throw that down in the comments real quick. If I don't see anything pop up in the comments, I'll dig through the manual and see if it's listed in there. It may not be. But either way, that's going to put us at 17,100, so we'll just make it even 17,000 pounds of fuel. So let's slide that back over there, and we're going to have to pop up our aircraft fuel and payload here. I got like my eye is like watery, so it's kind of blurry. So we said we want 17,000 pounds of fuel, which means we're going to be able to clear out the center no problem. And let's see. So come on, brain work. That should be 8.5 a side, right? So 8,500 and 8,500 puts us not 18,500. 8,500. There we go. 16,994. That's going to work for me. It's going to be plenty close enough. So we're good on that. Now our fuel's loaded. Payload obviously is already in there. You saw the aircraft sag down just a little bit, which is fantastic. I love to see the change there. One thing I would really like to see, and maybe somebody knows how to do this. I've mentioned this before. If you've ever sat on the flight deck of a 757, which I've had the wonderful honor of doing that once or twice, where a pilot let me, but not ride. You can't fly up there anymore since 9/11. Thanks a lot, guys. That sounded a little sarcastic. There's obviously a lot worse things than that, but you get my point. The point is since 9/11, you're not allowed to ride on the flight deck anymore unless you get very, very, very special permission, which I've not gotten to date. So the point I'm getting at here is I have had the opportunity, of course, to sit on a flight deck while they're doing their pre-flight checks and stuff like that. It's higher than this. It's much higher than this. It's the same with the 747. It's much higher. So what I'm wondering is if anybody knows how to adjust the viewpoint so that, I can do this, right? But technically, right about here is where we should be when we're here, give or take just a little bit. You get where I'm coming from. So if somebody knows how to do that, hey, give me a heads up. I'd like to. It's probably a config adjustment or something like that. Anyway, we got some checklist items to go through here. And I got a lot of work to do because I'm going to have to make all the checklists for the video so that you get to see that fancy little pop-up over here. But in the meantime, ooh, my nose is a little stuffy this morning. Let me hop in here. Let's see. We've already loaded fuel. Parking brake, let's make sure that's set. She's down here. It's not set yet, so the parking brake is now on. Fuel's loaded. Doors, it says doors should be open. Yeah, you know what? We got to load passengers, right? So Shift E, and then Control Shift F12, and let's request boarding. And then, who do we want to use? Menzies or ExpressJet? Let's use ExpressJet. That'll be fun. Should see some pop-ups here. Yeah, see, you guys, I mean, that gives you an idea of how you know how big this thing is, or how big the stairway is, right? Let me hop outside here. So from the outside here, you can, you know, I mean, the size of the person is pretty close there. I'm going to have to open all those doors, right? But the size of the individual here is pretty close, you know. That's about, I mean, I've stood underneath this thing. You just about hit your head on what do they call this? The flap door, maybe? I'm not sure what it's actually called. But you just about hit your head on that. So that's pretty close there. But then when you hop inside the aircraft, not so much, right? It's like, it just seems like we're lower. I just dislike that. Anyway. There is a, I'm popping up these panels here. There's a little, I don't know what that thing is. I need this undocked over here so I can use it later, so that's good. Nothing there. Oh, that's the, isn't there oh, I know what you gotta do. You gotta go to F10, and you gotta pop the panel back up. It's this thing right here is what I'm looking for, right? Okay, so left 2 main entry. Clicked on it. Is it opening? R2 service door, cargo doors. I don't know if they're opening, to be honest with you. It says we got ground power, so that's good. Let's put the wheel chocks on. These aren't opening. Why aren't they opening? Oop. They are open.
Good morning. Thank you.
Alright. Oh, yeah, we gotta go back to this guy here to be able to see. Okay, I think we got them all open now. We'll see. We'll see if it competes. Actually, this is yeah, we got everything open now. We got the wheel chocks on there and all that stuff. So we're good. We're loading everybody up now. We didn't need that one open, but whatever. It is what it is. So there we go. We should have ground power available according to that little tool. It'd be nice if there was a quick key combination to pop that up, wouldn't it? But that's alright. So, let's see. APU. I don't know why the APU comes on when the APU is not on, right? APU's off. We don't have any power on the aircraft right now. So let's flip the battery on, and it's going to let us do extra power.
Good morning. Thank you.
Battery back off for a moment, then let's put our checklist. All right, doors are open. Gangway's taken care of. Gear is down. Fuel control switch is in the cutoff position. I'm not going to turn them off. I always leave my control switches on. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do, but okay. So now we can go ahead and turn the battery on. The battery on, and then right click to close the guard, and standby power to auto, which it is. APU generator switch on, which it is. Utility bus switches need to be to auto. That's these down here, which they are. Bus ties are on auto. It says utility bus switches, not bus ties. I passed it. Okay. I need to read the actual line. Bus tie switches to auto. Utility bus switches on. Off lights could still be illuminated. That's these here, and the off lights are illuminated. There we go. Generator control switches need to be on. That's these two down here, and they are. And panel lights if required. We don't need any panel lights, but we do want to turn on our, let's see, we've got our red light on there, which is I guess, our nav lights, so we're good to go on that, right? We don't need any other internal or external lights right now. Next page. It says external power on. Well, I'm clicking it, but it's not doing anything. I'm not sure why. Which means we're probably going to have to go ahead and fire up the APU. So let's just go ahead and start the APU here. And to do that, we're just going to rotate this switch to start. It bounces back to the on position itself. And the APU fires right up. Doesn't take but a minute. Let's see if we got... these aren't coming on yet. We'll probably need the APU to come on before our monitors will come on. So let's let the APU finish firing up. Yep, there it is. You can hear it going now. And now we've got our MFD and PFD and all that good stuff going. So we're going to go on that. Excellent. So external power would go off, of course. Now, I find that a little odd that it said the external power, or that the external power wouldn't click on here since it said we had it. Or maybe it wasn't saying we had it. Maybe I needed to click on it in order to get external power. Live and learn. Position lights need to be on. That's these guys right here. IRS alignment. So the switches 1 through 3 all go to the off position. Off, off, off. And then they all go, where are you at? All to the nav position. I know how to do this, but I'm reading it anyway to make sure it's not different on this one. I haven't done it in a little while. They all go to nav. Wait until the on DC light flashes and then the line light is illuminated, which it is, and then display select knob, present position, which it is. Looks like they're already aligning. System display knob, IRU, left, center, right. It doesn't say which one. It just says, oh, it says left, center, or right. Okay, and then FMC, we go down and we do our typical position initialization here. So let's hop down there real quick. Position initialization. Oh, you got to pop this up. We can't use it right here. So position initialization, and it says go to the index page. All right, index. Go to ident page. Ident. Then to the position initialization page. We just did that, and then make sure the 4-letter airport code is in there, which it is. So our position is now initialized. I don't know if there's anything else we do. Those will have to go to nav here in a little bit, but in the meantime, we can hop up and do some other stuff. Let's fly over here a little bit so we can see a little better. And the yaw dampers both need to go on. Where's the yaw dampers? They're right in front of my face, aren't they? Well, the flight director is going to have to come on. Doesn't that take care of the yaw dampers for you? Oh, there's just one switch. Why can I not find yaw dampers, guys? It's been a little while since I've flown this, obviously. Flight director's on. I don't see yaw damper. Where's yaw damper? Oh, for goodness sakes. Where is it? Maybe it's up top. You know what? It's up top on some of them. Let's see if yaw... There they are. Yep, right in front of me. There they are. Oh, they weren't right in front of my face. They were up top. So yaw dampers are on. My apologies. EEC switches both on. They are. That's the electronic engine control. Hydraulic panel pumps. Primary engine pumps for left and right engine need to be on, which is these two right here. And then primary electric switches for left and right engine need to be, it says off. There we go, there's the electric switches off. Command pump switches, it says off. Which one are the command pumps? I'm confused by that. We got left and right engine, and then these C2 electric hydraulic. Yep, C1 and C2, that's these two here. Those need to be off. Alright, check no abnormal warnings. I don't think we have any abnormal warnings. These two can go off because we don't have any fuel in the center tank. Emergency light switch needs to be armed and guarded. I always struggle with emergency lights. It's this one here. They are armed and guarded, so we're going to go on that. Passenger oxygen switch needs to be blank and guarded. And that is the one right next to it here, and you can't actually do anything with that. Anyway, window heat needs to come on. And where's window heat? Usually the flow's pretty good. but not always. Oh, it's right here. Window heat. They're all on, and you can't change those anyway. Ram air turbine switch blank and guarded. That's this one right here. You can't do anything with that either. Ignition switch. It says 1 on odd days, 2 on even days, and both in cold weather. Okay. Well, what's today? Today's an odd day. It's the 7th day. So, yeah, we'll leave it on 1. Engine start selectors need to be on auto, which they both are. And fuel panel. All fuel pumps, it says to be off and blank. I'm not sure how that works with the APU run. Doesn't it need one of those fuel pumps on? Crossfeed needs to be off and blank, which is these two in the middle, and they are. Fuel quantity and balance needs to be checked. We've already done that. Engine and wing anti-ice needs to be off. So see, we're coming right down this panel now, and those are both off, so that's good. Cargo heat as required. We don't need cargo heat on this one. Now, where's cargo heat though? I want to make sure we're tracking here. Cargo heat. Rain repellent, wipers, logos, equipment cooling. Where's cargo heat at, guys? You guys see cargo heat? Not like you can tell me anything, right? Trim air, research, packs, bleed air. I don't see cargo heat. Come on. I probably look like a doofus here trying to figure out where some of this stuff is. It's been a little while since I've flown it. Usually I can find this stuff pretty quick. We don't need the cargo heat. I just want to know where it's at in case it, well, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and fart around. We don't need cargo heat, so we're not going to mess with it any longer, okay? Passenger signs. Put those on. I would think cargo heat would be right near here somewhere, but these are all announcements. I don't even think those work in here. Yeah, the cargo heat's kind of bugging me now. But anyway, seatbelts and no smoking are both on. Cabin altitude control. On odd days, it needs to be on auto 1, and on even days, auto 2. So we went with an odd day, and which one is it here? Cabin altitude control. It doesn't even let us adjust this up there. Auto rate is in the deep tip position. We can't do anything with that either. So equipment cooling needs to be auto and blank. And I just saw that one. Right, auto and blank. You can't do anything with that either. Temperature control needs to be auto or as required. And, excuse me. Temperature control is, no, that's the pack switches. This is temp control, right? That do bounce down and back up. Well, we can't do anything with any of those anyway, so there we go. Sorry if I sound like a bumbling idiot. Trim air needs to be on. It is. Research fans need to be on. They are. Packs. Both packs need to be on auto, which they are because we're using the APU. External air we're not using, so turn them both off. Isolation valve switch needs to be on. There we go. That's that one right there. Next page. It's a long list on this one. What's crazy is when I've seen these guys go through their pre-flight power up checklist and all that stuff like we're doing right now, they do this stuff in like 2 minutes. Engine bleed switches need to be on, which they are, even though it shows the off there. The little light tells us that they're on. It says before you continue, the APU should now run at least 1 minute. Well, it's been running for at least a minute, so we're good, and then the APU bleed would come on, which it was already on. So now we can go into the FMC and set up our route. So let's hop down here and take care of that really quick. And, oh yeah, you got popped up. Alright, company route. I think we can still do this like you would a typical company route. So it's KSFB. I can never find the letters. Apparently they put this in the order they did to make it a little more difficult. I guess that was on purpose so that people would have a harder time hijacking an airplane or something, or stealing an airplane, I guess. Not like it'd be that easy to steal one anyway. MYGF, and we know our designator was 01, so we can go there, and then that should go in company route, right? It did. Fantastic. Okay, so that's in there. We'll activate that, execute it, and then performance initialization, our reserves, we're going to say they're all 5,000 pounds. Put those in there. Reserve 17.0.
Must be securely stowed either under
So that's how much fuel we have on there. Maybe we need to go 5.0. 5.0. Reserves. There we go. The cruise altitude, our initial altitude is going to be flight level 290. And our cost index on this one is going to be 75. Right there. execute all that. Go to takeoff page.
No children in this row.
There's our VREFs. Nothing else we can do with those. That's pretty much it. Now we do need to take care of, because it's not complete, it'll tell us when it's complete. So let's go to departure and arrival. Departure, what's our weather? Let's take our first look at Active Sky 2016 here on the Life of a Virtual Cargo Pilot, and we're looking at the wind is 180 at 4 knots. Let me write that down. 180 at 4, and then I will pull up the well, we'll just go from right here. We could take runway 18 if I remember correctly. That one's quite short, so let me take a look here real quick and make sure I know which runway we're using. Yeah, so runway 18 is really short. We could probably get this off the ground on that runway, but I don't think it's designed for an aircraft this size. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take 9 left, which is right over here next to us anyway. We'll do a crosswind takeoff. That should be fun. And then we'll be taking the SFB departure, which I think the one we have is SFB 5, but SFB 6 is the same. The change has to do with, I think, the obstacles in the area, which are not applicable to this aircraft. Way too fast and way too high for those. And I think that's it. Performance initialization, takeoff, and now pre-flight is complete. So there we go. That's what we were looking for, and that's it for the FMC on this guy. So we're good to go. We don't need initial reference. We need our legs page, and wow, that's got us going up and coming back down quick, doesn't it? It's got us up to 16,700 at SQT, and then that's it. I know the flight's short, but can't we get to? I think we can get up to 29,000. Let's try and get it to 29,000. Let's go /290. There we go, and execute that, and then we'll get it figured out from there, because VNAV is going to have to calculate everything on there. So we're good to go on that, and let's see, where does that take us to? Activate, execute, done that. This is all stuff for the good there. I'm just this checklist has some stuff on it that's not applicable to this version of the aircraft. This version being Quality Wings version. And okay, so that takes us to let's see, IFR clearance, squawk code. We need to set that. Back here, I have to be over the seat to be able to do anything. Okay, squawk code. Let's put it. Oh, we got to do it this way, huh? That's not annoying or anything. Okay. That's quite annoying, actually. So you have to hold it over there, and you can only scroll down. Okay, there we go. There's our squawk code in there. Altimeter needs to be set. So that was one of the things I mentioned about Active Sky 2016 is it doesn't give me the altimeter right here, which is, unless I'm missing it. No, I'm not. So that's kind of a little frustrating to me. Now I can get it easily enough. If you just double click this, it's going to take you to this map view right here, and then I can, we'll have to zoom in. Come on, zoom in. Zoom in a little so that we can pull it up. So there's our METAR, the 24th at 1353 Zulu, 180 at 4 knots, 10 statute miles, visibility, few clouds at 1600. The temperature is 29 degrees and the dew point is 23 degrees, and the altimeter is 3006. And the rest is not really a big deal. Sea level pressure, all that good stuff. So let's go back to flight plan, because that's at least a quick view there. So 3006 on the altimeter, and here it is, it's down here. So this is not, whoop, got a little close there. Okay, so 3006, why is it not going to let me, what is that? Ah, there we go. Oh, you have to click it. It won't let you scroll it. Okay, anyway, there we are, and then I just hit the Bravo button. That's shifted it just a tiny bit, but there you go, and that just makes sure that it's set. So, let's see, flight director is on, auto throttle needs to be off, which which it is. That's the auto throttle there. And let's see, enter V2 speed into the indicated airspeed Mach indicator. I've done that before. I've never done it that way. So let's go to takeoff page here. V2 is 140. So that's what it's telling us to enter into here is 140. And you have to click this one too. Well, I think you can scroll it here. Yeah. It's kind of hard to see when you've got your mouse right over it scrolling it though, isn't it? Okay, that goes in tens if you right click it, so that'll be much quicker. There, 140. Okay, we're set there. Heading needs to be set to runway heading. We'll set it for sure when we get there, but it's going to be about 090 degrees. So we'll just set it at 090 for the moment, and we'll make sure it's lined up when we get there. And set the first altitude, which for us is going to be straight up to 29,000. So right click goes in 500-foot increments. So let's take it straight on up to 29,000. There we go, 29,000 feet. Fantastic. Autopilot disengage bar needs to be up, which it is. That's this guy right here. And then it says continue when IRS alignment is finished, which of course it is finished. We see everything going good down here. So we'll go up here to IRS, and then we need to, oh, they already went to nav on their own, right? So we're good on that. So IRS alignment is finished. We're good on that, which means, okay, this is one of those things that, maybe I'm just an idiot, but I don't know what EADI means. EADI? Why do I not know what that means? Anyway, set the clock. We're not going to set the clock. Auto brake needs to be off, which it is. ICAS check for failure messages. We got plenty of those on there. I'll pull that up for you so you can see it. Obviously, we're going to have those. We haven't started our engines yet, and so on. So, where's the clear and recall on that? It's down there. Hiding. Cancel. Recall. And the same ones pop up. So we'll just cancel them off for now. And what comes next? Oh, I swear this, like, my eyes like a little watery and kind of blurry. It's annoying. Okay, I guess that's where we were. Let's see, flap indicator, check that it's at 0, which it is right there. Flap override switch needs to be normal or blank, which it is. Landing gear down in 3 green. That's what we got right there. Alternate gear switch guarded and off. This is the alternate gear switch. You can't do anything with it anyway. Let's see, parking brake is set. Spoilers are down. Throttles are closed. Fuel control switches are cut off. That's these two down here. Trim settings. Set is indicated on FMC takeoff reference page. Let's see if it shows up on this one. It does not show us. It only shows we're going to do flaps 15, and then that's that. So we're kind of stuck with whatever's there for the moment. Flaps up, and then that takes us to the engine startup and pushback. Now, we don't need to do a pushback procedure because we're going to pull straight ahead here. However, I'm not sure how to get these guys to back off. The passengers are loaded, right? So why are they still there? So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cancel our deboarding no longer available. Oh, close left entry door 4. Yeah, because I got rid of the little pop-up thing that would pop up here. So, okay, so let's hop in. We got to go to this page here. That's odd. This page here. Got to pull this thing out. Let me undock this and move it over here so we don't have to keep doing this. And we'll hop back over here and let's see. Oh, that's nice. I just noticed that the plane's not there. Let's close all the doors. I think that's all of it. Let me hop out and look. It is not. Cargo doors are not closed yet. Let's try and get those. I thought I closed them. There they go. That's weird that they don't back off until you close the doors. Maybe that's so somebody doesn't just walk off the airplane.
The main cabin door.
That would hurt.
All personal cellular telephones must be
somebody's
turned
talking
off
now.
and
Fantastic.
slowed
Okay, let's
for the
remove the
duration
wheel
of the flight.
chocks. Those are gone.
Flight
Cones will
attendants,
stay.
prepare doors for departure,
And we are ready to
and
start
verify
engine.
snacks.
So, cancel all the ICAS messages. We already did that. Fuel pumps are all on. Red anti-collision lights need to be on, which they are. That's the one in the middle here. Packs need to go off, so let's hop up top here. Excuse me. Let's see, these are the packs, right? Yep. Off and off. Thought maybe you'd switch it here, but it's kind of weird. Oh, that's just the reset switch. Okay, packs are off. Stabilizer trim is set as indicated on the load sheet. We're going to assume it is. Doors are all closed. We don't need to request pushback or start. Parking brake, it says, is off, which is kind of weird, actually. Why would we turn the parking brake off when we start the engines? Oh, that's for the pushback. Sorry. Okay. It says here it's important to start with engine number 2, or the right engine. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the start selector, and we're going to wait until the N2 reaches 18% before we add fuel. Okay? So, right engine, this guy over here, we're going to roll it to the ground. So, roll your mouse wheel down, it goes to ground start. You hear it coming up back there. And I'll pop this up so you can see the N2. Because these are small when you pop them up, aren't they? There we go. N2, it's at 16, 17, 18. As soon as it hits 18, we can add fuel. And she fires right up. Let her just stabilize for a second. It says at 50% into, the selector should go back to auto automatically. Let's make sure it did, because we're obviously past that. It did. She stabilized, so now we can go ahead and take care of engine number 1, which is the same procedure. He's coming up, looking for 18% on the N2. There it is. Fired right up. Turn the page on our checklist. Alright, let's go ahead and take care of our after start checklist now. Generator lights, we need to check and make sure that those are off. And let's see, generator. Yep, the little off light should have gone off, which is kind of weird the way that's written. APU bleed and isolation both need to go off. That's these two way over here. APU can come off at this point. No sense of burning the extra fuel. I don't know why it goes to the start and then to the off, but that's what it does. Engine anti-ice is not under 10 degrees Celsius, so we're good to go there. I don't know why the isolation switch would be off again. We just turned it off already. Packs need to go to auto. Auto. Let's try something. If I reset, yep, you just click the reset button. Cool. Auto brake selector needs to go to RTO. That's this guy here. Does it let us? That's the auto brakes? No, that's not auto brakes. Auto brakes are down here, aren't they? Oh, duh. I'm looking at the alternate flaps over here. RTO. Left click it. Let's see, ICAS, check for abnormal messages, squat down here a little bit, left and right hydraulic pump. I'm not seeing where those come back on, which is kind of silly, but obviously we've got the message, so we need to turn those on, and we'll need to turn these on as well, obviously. So, let's see, any messages now? Nope, she's clear. Let's hit recall just in case. Parking brake is on, that's fine, we want it to be on, so we're good there. Logo light can come on at this point. Technically, we don't need it during the daytime, but hey, let's just stick with it. So logo light on, and runway turn off lights can go on. Taxi and turn off. Let's turn the wing in. White lights on there. Nose wheel, landing light, that's on for takeoff. And pushback will be complete, and that would take us to our taxi checklist. So, we don't need to request a taxi clearance, because we're not using ATC, of course. We've already noted our taxiways, and of course we'll brief the taxi real quick on the way out, but it's going to be really simple on this one. We won't need ground guidance, but we do select our flaps as they're set in the FMC, which they need to go to flaps 15, so let's go and set those real quick. There we go, flaps 15 coming in, and we have nothing else until we reach the hold point. Now, being the fool that I am, I still need to put on my track IR hat, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause this for just a minute. Just for the record, it's not my first pause. I paused it 4 different times already. I'm going to pause for just a second and then hop back on here with the track IR hat and we'll taxi out. Alright then, let's go ahead and taxi this bird out, shall we? Make sure that parking brake's off. There she is. Give her a little bit of juice to get going. No, we're not. She just started rolling on her own. It's because we're so light.
So this taxi route's nothing new to us. We're over here on the southwest rim.
We're going to take it straight on ahead here to Kilo, down over to Bravo, and up here to Bravo 1. Alright, as I'm taxiing out here, let's go ahead and take care of a taxi brief and our departure brief at departure procedure. And nothing new here on the departure procedure either. We've seen this one many times. This is the only actual standard instrument departure out of SFB. Again, we've got Sanford 5. It looks like it's been updated to Sanford 6, but apparently that update hasn't shown up yet in Navigraph charts. So hopefully we'll see that in the near future. But in the meantime, we're going to stick with the Sanford 5. We're taking runway 9 left. It's the 095 degree heading, and then of course it's all vectors. And our first waypoint is ORL. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just climb out here on 09 or 5 just for a little bit, a few miles, not too far, maybe out to about this 10-mile marker here. And then we'll hang a big right-hand turn around here to ORL and get on course from there. And that is your simple and straightforward departure briefing. Alright, so now that we're at our hold short point, we would hand off to the tower, get our takeoff clearance, and then we would go from there to our before takeoff / ready takeoff checklist. Landing lights need to come on, runway turn off lights are already on. Apparently the white anti-collision lights and the wing lights are supposed to come on at this point, so my bad. Transponder needs to go on, which it is down there. And then the TCAS switch needs to go to TARA. Now, it doesn't actually let me do that down here. I can't do anything with this switch. So the only thing I can figure is you probably just have to hit the traffic button, and that's on this guy right here. So if I hit traffic, it shows traffic there now. So I think we're going to go on that. Keep that over there because I will still need it, and I don't like having to pop it up. And that is this guy right here too, in case you're wondering. This little pop up here. That guy is this guy right here, so you can use it right here. I just keep it popped up, it's a lot easier. Okay, so now we would go position and hold, so let's go ahead and turn the track IR on and let's take the brakes off. Now we're going to have no problem getting to 29,000 feet, and I'm going to tell you why. You see how we're starting to roll forward already? I haven't even touched the throttles. Okay, if the idle thrust is enough to move this aircraft right now, then I have absolutely no doubt that this thing is going to be climbing like a ballistic missile, which is going to be fun. We're not flying very far, so we probably have way more fuel than we actually need, but any way you shake it, we're going to be rocking and rolling. And hopefully I won't forget that auto throttle arm switch. I haven't seen it on the checklist yet, and I haven't been bypassing things, so hold on. There you go, you got a good cough in there. The point is, of course, if it's not on the checklist, we need to make sure it goes on anyway. So let's pull out here. And before I did the startup and everything, I forgot to turn on the FS recorder. So for your climb music, you will not have a taxi out. You'll just have everything from this point here pulling onto the runway and taking off. So here's what it is. It'll still be fun. At least I remember to turn it on before I took off, because that would really suck. Then I'd have to go back and refly it just for the sake of getting the cinematic stuff. Why is he going to the other runway? See him taxiing down there? He's going to go to the other runway for a takeoff. Watch. Okay, let's bring it to a stop here, because we still got some checklist items to do. And let's just hope he doesn't decide to plow into us. Alright. Ready for takeoff, parking brake. We've activated auto throttle on. There it is, right there on the checklist. Fantastic. Autopilot settings, check flight director heading, and all that good stuff. Now we want to make sure that our heading is lined up. We're at 096. It's supposed to be 095. If we press this, it does nothing. So let's roll it to 095, because that's technically the runway heading. We probably just pointed it right a little bit. Let's see. We will go thrust levers forward, parking brake will be released, yoke until 80 knots, you press forward at 80 knots, I guess you let it go neutral, and then V1 you rotate in V2. That is the takeoff procedure. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think we've missed anything. No, I think we're good to go. So, oh, there is one more thing I want to do. I'm going to zoom this out real quick. Let's go to the plan mode. This is probably not the right place to do this, but yeah, so it's got us going direct to ORL. Hopefully that won't interfere with our, let's pop this up legs page. Yeah, hopefully it won't give us any issues going to ORL, but we'll see. If we have to, we'll take ORL and put it up there as the primary waypoint. I just wanted to check that real quick. So let's go to the map mode. That's where I want to be. Then we can tune that back down. And let's boogie woogie train. I don't know if the Toga works on this or not. Let's go ahead and start bringing the throttles up a little bit. Release the parking brakes. And Toga. Oh, it works. Fantastic. I love the sound. Okay, yoke forward until we reach 80 knots. We'll get in the middle there. Oh, we got some crosswind.
80 knots.
Okay, yoke to neutral. Oh, I love that sound.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate.
V2.
Very nice.
Positive brake. Gear up.
Gear coming up. We're going to fly out on this heading for a minute. We're going to trim down just a little bit. Start bringing flaps up.
Flaps 5. Flaps 1.
Flaps 5. I forgot to turn on track IR. Yeah, we're already at flaps 5. Let's use, wait, where's the reduced thrust? We're climbing it. Quite an angle here. See how those clouds look like they're moving? Somebody tells me they think the Rex soft clouds are better than these, but I disagree. It looks like I'm moving through the clouds. I think that's better. That's the way it should look. So I'm going to stick with these. That is quite the climb, isn't it? Okay, let's go ahead and try and initiate the autopilot here. LNAV won't arm, VNAV will. And the LNAV is not arming because we're not in line with that track right now, right? Let's go ahead and start our right turn here. We won't do the autopilot yet. So VNAV is armed. Probably should have armed LNAV and VNAV on the ground. I didn't see it on the checklist though. I think we can come the next flaps up. Oops, sorry, I'm looking at the thing over there. And let's go back those throttles off a little bit. Let's not back the throttles off. Flaps come all the way up. Remember, doing the work of 2 pilots. One more nose up there. Coming around. Nice, good, steep, tight turn. Not too steep. We're not overbanking it. Here's 10,000 feet. Let's get the landing lights off, taxi lights off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the use of approved portable electronic devices is now permitted.
Now we're coming up here. Let's go ahead and level her back out. Watch the nose doesn't jump really fast. Put the LNAV on. Now it's armed. Let's go ahead and hit autopilot here. Let the aircraft take over. And yep, we're gonna have to. Oh no, it shows it going. I guess as far as it's concerned, we've already done ORL. It doesn't make sense. 14 miles away. So where's it going? Intercept heading. Okay. Phew, you got a cough and a sneeze today. Okay, let's go to heading mode. And let's rotate the heading around. track IR off. Let's let her get back on course here. Maybe. Oh, yeah, you gotta hit the select button apparently. Alright, so let's roll it just a little further. That's gonna be a steep intercept, isn't it? It's probably not the best way to do it, but in fact I know it's not the best way to do it, but we're gonna have to go with it for now. While it's coming around and getting in on that intercept there, let's go ahead and take care of this after takeoff checklist. Let's see, gear is up. Once we're above 10,000 feet, autopilot would come on, which it has. LNAV, VNAV, obviously we're waiting to take care of the LNAV here. We're going to be burning a little bit of extra fuel because it's basically going to hit ORL and circle back around, which is a little obnoxious to me, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's my own fault. I should have flown it properly. I didn't. So flaps are up. Landing gear in the off position, which it is, does that automatically. And we would publish that we're airborne. Of course, we don't need to do that. And that takes us straight into the climb checklist, which is landing and taxi lights off. They are. Reset the autopilot altitude if necessary. We don't need to. We're going straight to flight level 290. And let's see. Boy, this is okay. Now let's see. Now we gotta switch our course all the way back around, because as far as it's concerned, we've already gone to ORL now. Good thing I was keeping an eye on that. Okay, we don't need to hand off the approach or anything like that. Engine and wing anti-ice if we get under 10 degrees Celsius, which, let's see, where's the temperature? It's over here. It's 5 degrees Celsius. So we could technically put engine, wing, and anti-ice on. So let's click those. There they are. Good to go. And altimeter, we need to put that back to 292. I'll just hit the B or Bravo button for now. And that takes us there. And that is our climb checklist. Let's hope it doesn't overspeed the aircraft. Swing it back around here. And while I'm doing that, it's time for some of that obligatory elevator music. I told you we'd have no problem getting to 29,000 feet. Of course, we're going to be coming on our top of descent here pretty quick as well. So let's go ahead and take care of this cruise checklist first. Obviously, we want to monitor the radio and ATC, monitor the autopilot and the FMC, and then change fuel tanks if necessary when the time comes. Of course, that's not going to be necessary for us today, so we don't have to really worry about it. Now, even though we're not at our top, we're probably not quite as close as we need to be. We're about 40 nautical miles out. I want to go ahead and start getting ready for the descent and approach now, because we're going to do our approach brief as soon as we start the descent. So it says begin 50 nautical miles before top descent, so that works well anyway. We've already retrieved the airport information. We know what our winds and stuff are going to be, so we're going to go on that. And in case, well, I guess I didn't show it to you, so I'll show it to you real quick. So wind is 170 at 3 knots. It has been shifting around quite a bit, but it's pretty slow. We're going to end up with a bit of a tailwind on our landing, so that's going to make it interesting. It's going to make it fun, but whatever. So let's take care of our departure arrival page on our FMC really quick. This is part of the reason you started so far out. So arrival, we're taking the ILS Z6. There is no star, so we're good to go on that. Now jump over here to our legs page, and when you see our approach briefing, you're going to see that there's a DME arc there. Okay, so it's got us going straight to ZFP, but that's not really going to work for us because we need to maintain 12 nautical miles distance from ZFP on this arc. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make some custom waypoints here. We should be able to anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight ZFP, and then we're going to go radio 334 at 12 nautical miles. Put that right there. And let me just double check on my chart here. 07840. 7840. So it's going to be this one here. It's the VOR we're looking for. So this one here. Okay, so that's custom waypoint number 1. Let me pop this up for you. You can't really see this one. Darn. Hey, that looks good, right? Oh, we're going to hit top of the set before I even get done with this. So, real quick, I'm just going to scroll this all the way down to 2,000 feet. Actually, we'll find it at 2,000 feet. And that way it'll go right into the descent while I'm going up to 2,000 feet. Okay, there we go. And as you can see, we are on course now. So we're going to go on that. Now let's go over here and roll this to the plan mode. And then step through, and you can see there's ZFP01, right? Scroll that down. Okay, so now we need to go to the next one. We're going to use ZFP again. And what we're going to do is we don't want to just cut it off. So that was 334, so we're going to make the next one is going to be just 10 degrees off. So we're going to make it 324. We're going to go in 10 degree increments /12, and this will keep us from rounding it off. And that's going to go there. Same ZFP, and you can see that right there. We could probably do it in more increments if we wanted to. So the next one is going to be the, I can't find the ZFP, and what do you do, 324? Let's do 304 on this one. This will be a little bit wider. 304 /12 nautical miles. So that's ZFP, and you can see there what we're doing is we're creating a DME arc that the aircraft will fly on its own. We could fly it by hand, but I just don't know. Whoops. ZFP, so that was 304. So next one would be what? 284, right? Yep, 284 /12. Put that one in right here. And there we go. And let's go previous page so that we can step through those. So you can see how that's working there, right? So we did 84. The next one would technically be 64, but actually it's going to take us to 068 is what we're going to go with. And the reason we're going to do that is because that would be where we actually turn in anyway. Actually, let's do, I'm sorry, I'm way off on that. That was 284. Next one's 264. My head's not working. 264 /12. Put that one in there. There it is. And then one more. And this one we're going to do at, I don't even understand how that's crazy. Oh, it's because I'm backwards, that's why. So that was 264, right? So this one would technically be 244, which is going to be pretty close, actually. But let's do 254. So ZFP 254 /12. And you can see that puts us almost right on top of it, and then it'll turn in from there. Now, from there, for whatever reason, it wants to shoot. Well, I guess it's just because it goes to vectors. So we don't need ZFP next. What we actually need Boy, that was a real pain in the butt to set up, wasn't it? Okay, that down, back to the map mode there. Have we started our descent yet? We have not. Great. Why have we not started our descent? We should definitely be on our descent here, which means we're way stinking high now. Oh, there's top of descent. Oh, okay, it changed the top of descent. Dirt. I'm losing my mind here today, guys. Okay, now we've got that set up. Looks like just in time too. We've already changed the autopilot altitude. Auto brakes need to be set. We're going to put those on. You got to right click. We're going to put them on 1. Altimeter will readjust when we get below 18,000 feet. Landing lights on below 10,000, and so on. And that'll take us right up to our final approach and landing checklist. So we're about to hit top of descent here. I'm going to go ahead and let it roll right on through, and I'm going to just record some blank space here so that we can put the approach briefing in there, because I tried to explain some of what I just did there, but my apologies. All right, based on the weather in the Bahamas and the wind direction, let's be taking the ILS 6 approach. Why not? It's an ILS, and that'll be fun. ILS is easy to fly. Now, our final waypoint on our flight plan is actually ZFP right out here. And so what we're going to be doing, ZFP is right here. ZFP and ZFP. These are two different, this one's what do you call it? This one's a VOR, and this one is a, oh, my brain doesn't want to function now. This has something to do with, come on, what is this? Okay, you guys tell me. For whatever reason, my brain will not tell me what this is right now. So, I'm sorry, but either way, ZFP is actually right here, which is listed as our final waypoint. But the way that the approach is set up, when we're coming from up here generally to the north, we're going to come in right here at our initial approach fix, which is 12 nautical miles from ZFP, and then we'll hang a right and we'll maintain this DME arc at 12 nautical miles from DFP VOR until we come around here to Holler, HOLIR, and then we'll zip on in from there, from Holler to this ZFP, which we probably won't have programmed on the radio, but we'll figure out what it is, and we'll go from there, and then down on in from there. Let's take a look at the profile here before I make more of a fool of myself. 3,346 meters of runway, which is more than enough for us. We should have happy lights on both sides with the standard 3-degree glide slope. Coming in out here at distance 6.6 or 6.8. Not really sure why there's two of them there. I guess it's because you could be using either one of those navigation aids. But that's our descent point there. We'll come in there at 2,000 feet or 1,600. No, this is the lowest altitude. Come on, my brain is not functioning on this. We'll come in at 2,000 feet. We'll start our descent at 068 degrees on down here to NDB. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. It's an NDB. It's right there. That's what this is. This is the ZFP NDB. So we'll descend past that on down into either our missed approach point or our landing. Now that I'm done bumbling around, let's take a look at our missed approach procedures. On a missed approach, we're climbing 068 degrees until we are at the 064 degree radial or 2.1 miles from ZFP. We make a right turn with a max speed of 210 knots and intercept the 146 degree radial to from ZFP, to distance 12 ZFP, climb to 2,000 feet, and then we hold out there at 12 nautical miles from ZFP. That's crazy. So basically what that looks like is we climb out right here on the 064 until we intercept the 064 degree radial, I guess. Oh, just maximum of 210 knots, making our right turn until we intercept the 146 degree radial. Been out here the whole approach. We're not going to hold it through that. As soon as we get to 12 nautical miles, we'll start the approach again into the team from the other side. Okay, ILS frequency 109.7. That's right up here. AWOS on 119.275. Approach on 1.65. Tower and ground. All those are in the green box as always. And I think that's it. The weather's not too bad down there, so we should be good to go. Let's go fly before I make more of a fool of myself. Alright, as you can see, we're coming up on our first custom waypoint here pretty quickly. I actually made a little space by going out and coming around a little bit so we wouldn't have to try and make this really sharp turn between these first two custom waypoints that we made. So, let's just bring it around a little further here, make sure it's on an intercept course direct to that waypoint, which is what we want, and then we'll hit the LNAV again so that it'll fly it for us. And then we can start taking care of this approach and landing checklist. So, you there yet? Almost. Come on. Turn a little more. I just didn't want it to have to make this really sharp turn in such a short space. I just didn't think we'd be able to do it. Let's see, we're at just about 5,000 feet here. Beautiful water out there. A little bit of clouds. Looking like really nice weather, actually. Let's turn the LNAV back on. Alright, so now it's going to go direct to ZFP01 and then 01 again. Those should actually be 01, 02, and so on. I don't know why it doesn't rename each of them, but there you go. We've got our custom waypoints and off we go. So let's take care of this approach and landing checklist because we're going to be swinging around this thing a little quicker than we'd expect. So, spoilers need to be off and then armed, which they're off now. Shift tab will arm them, or if you have a handle, you can just pull them to the arm position. I do have a spoiler handle, but I prefer to use shift tab. Flaps need to be lowered. Can we bring? I think we can bring in the first setting of flaps. Nope, not yet. Red lines popped up right away. Let's go ahead and reduce our speed here. Oh, 316. What are you talking about? Let's take it down to 210 knots. There we go. And we'll start lowering flaps. Gear will come down. It says under 250 knots, at least at flaps 20. So, as our speed starts to drop off here, we can bring in that first setting of flaps. It's probably still going to show those red marks yet, just barely. So we're not quite overspeeding with the flaps, but we're definitely cutting it close. We've got actually our things right here. It says flaps 1 at 240, then 220, 210. And we need to be at 196 for flaps 20. So let's go ahead and take it all the way down to 180, and that'll let us go to flaps 20 and get the gear down. Oh boy, it's getting a little choppy all of a sudden. What's that all about? Alright. Whoops. I accidentally bumped it. Sorry. ILS is not captured. We didn't even set up the ILS yet, did we? Oh my goodness. I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh, goodness gracious. We're going to be in trouble here. Let me pull up the chart over here real quick, and hopefully we can get it in time. Nope, that's not the one I want. Oh no. Boy, there's a mistake, huh? Okay, 109.7. Come down here to the radios. See, that's COM, right? You know what? It's right up here. 109.7. So that's already on 7. 109, and there we go. So it's set. And we're hitting some rough weather here. We can go ahead and next setting of flaps. And it looks like we can even do the one after
Ladies
that.
and gentlemen, in preparation for landing,
Good on that.
please return all
Okay,
seatbacks and
so
tables to their
we haven't
upright
captured
and
the
stow
ILS
position.
or the localizer yet.
Ensure
That makes
all
sense.
portable
We're
electronic
starting to swing
devices
around
are
this
turned
corner
on
here with
and
our
stow
12
all
DMEs,
carry-on
so we're
items.
good on that.
Additionally, footrest and video
closer.
monitors
There's
must be
flaps
returned
20,
to their original position.
and gear coming
Thank
down.
you.
We might get an alarm for a second. We'll see. Got a little bumpy and weather got a little nuts all of a sudden, didn't it?
Please be seated for arrival.
Alright. Okay, so spoilers are armed. Flaps, we'll continue to lower them. Excuse me. Continue to lower them on schedule. Does it give us, what's our landing reference? 128 knots. There we go. We can bring that speed down a little bit more. Let's bring it down to 160 now. And then we'll bring in the next setting of flaps here in a second. And then we're just basically waiting to swing around. As we come around here, what we're going to want to... What are you saying? Please give us a warning of some sort? Or are we just getting our butts kicked by the weather here? Ooh! Boy, that's bouncing around for this airplane, huh? Goodness gracious. Wow. Well, we're just kind of keeping an eye on it here. What else we got going on? We don't need a handoff to from approach to tower. We don't need landing clearance, throttles, thrust reversals. All this stuff is actually on landing. So, wow, this thing is just going bonkers right now, isn't it? Goodness gracious, it does not like this weather at all. Okay, so we're going to continue to follow it around here. The speed's supposed to be coming down. Let's bring it down a little more. Let's bring it down to 140. Ooh. It looks like we're nosediving almost, doesn't it? And that's just because of the flaps being in, but the speed being as high as it is. So 128 is our final. Let's go ahead and let's crank this down to 128 and get this thing to slow down. Because it is not slowing down right now. You see that? I mean, the nose is practically pointed at the ground, but the wind keeps... Oh, man. What is that wind at? Does it show us the wind speed? It's only 2 knots. Why is this thing bouncing around all crazy like that? It's a 2-knot wind for crying out loud. Wow. And see, it's trying to hold... Well, it jumped back up, didn't it? Why did it jump back up? Oh, because I was moving the heading. Wow. How stupid am I? There you go. I moved the heading to 128 degrees. Why didn't you guys tell me that? You're supposed to tell me these things. Oh, man. Why is it... And the VNAV went away. Oh, that's why. Oh, because I did that. Come on. 300 knots, really? Why does it keep jumping to that? Wow. We're having issues here. I like this plane, but goodness gracious. Okay, let's bring in another setting of flaps here. In fact, let's just go ahead and take it all the way to flaps full. Looks like some of that choppiness has calmed down a little bit. We can bring that speed back up just a little. 128 plus 5, we'll do 133. My goodness, folks, that was...
2,500.
Wow. Okay, so let's rotate this heading back around. Let's put it right about there. And as we start this turn, I'm actually going to go to heading mode here. And the reason I'm going to heading mode is because I want to intercept that localizer. So we're going to hit the localizer switch here, and you can see it's armed because it pops up as in white down here. Spread that out for you a little bit. So that means it's armed, and then once it intercepts it, we can hit the approach switch, which will be the one right below it here. So this has been a bit of a rough flight, hasn't it? And then we'll go one more time. We'll make sure everything is where it should be. The checklist technically is already complete, but you get the idea, and then we'll be ready to land this thing over there. Come on, intercept that localizer. You shouldn't hit the approach switch until you intercept the localizer. Okay? See, it's starting to turn now, which... Why is it starting to turn? It says it hasn't intercepted the localizer yet. That's interesting. That? The localizer's still armed, it's on heading select, but it turned to intercept the localizer. That's really weird. I need that to turn green is what I really need. This is going to be a rough landing, by the way, guys. I'm probably going to jack this one up. There it is, now it's intercepted. Now we'll hit the approach switch, and we're going to wait for it to intercept the glide slope here. What was that little buzzing sound, or was that my chair or something? Oh, it's kind of a stall. Speed it up. Yeah, it's trying to stall. Come on. Come on. We're gonna stall. Disengage. Nose down. Throttle. We're going to hand flight the rest of the way. Okay. Why are the flaps moving on their own? Come on. There's the view I'm looking for. Okay, there's our glide slope. Trim down. Goodness. Shouldn't be trying to stall right now. It's a little ridiculous, to be honest with you. And I got a blurry eye going on here too. This is going to be a rough landing, fellas. This is going to be terrible. I can see it already. We're going to give it a shot, though. We're going to give it a shot. Why? It's a 3-knot wind. Why is the airspeed bouncing around like crazy? Goodness gracious. Spoilers are still armed. Flaps are back to full like they should be. Wow, that's just a little crazy, isn't it? Alright, well, we got a little high there. Everybody knows, perfect quote, I'm always high on approach. Get down, come on. That's just craziness. I don't know what's going on with this thing. That should not be, it shouldn't have been stalling like that. Okay, now the wind's settling down, so now we need to pull those throttles way back. Down just a little more. We're almost back on
1,000.
So there we go. Looks like we don't get pappies on both sides like you told us we would. We're definitely descending really fast. Throttle back in there. So obviously we're going to have to land at just a little bit higher speed than it says. It lied to us. It lied to us. Can you believe the machine lied to us? Alright. Well, it seems to have settled down a little bit once we got over the land here, but boy, I'll tell you what.
500. 400.
Alright. Well, we're looking alright. Still gonna put her down.
300. Approaching minimums.
Looking good.
200.
Hope we don't have this problem later going into Innsbruck, huh?
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 20.
Okay, floated it, of course. There's the shutdown. First thrust. Auto brakes are kicking in. My goodness, that was a rough approach, huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, we will be taxiing for the next few minutes, so please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. At that time, please remember to check around your seating area, in the seat pockets, and overhead bins for all personal belongings that you brought on board. Please take care when opening the overhead bins, as the contents may have shifted during flight.
Alright, let's go ahead and take care of this after landing checklist here. Now that we've had quite the ride on the way in. Transponder needs to go to standby. I don't think we can actually do anything with that, but we can turn the traffic button off. There we go, TCAS is now off. You can't actually change anything on this. You can't even use the knobs for goodness sake. But there we go, transponder on standby. Still have a blurry eye going on here. And off tower to ground, no taxiways. Flaps need to go up. Auto brakes naturally came off on their own. Spoilers need to be down, which they are. What else? Landing lights off. I think I turned those off, didn't I? Yep, I did. Landing lights off. White anti-collision lights go off. That is this one here. And the wing lights go off. Interestingly enough. And and it says to start the APU. Get that fired up. And that's it until we get to our parking spot. So let's go and start taxiing in here. She should start moving on her own. And easy, just like that. And what's the message down here? Drag required. I think we're a little past that point. Alright folks, it's not a very long taxi, so I'm going to go ahead and taxi it in here, and once I get to the parking position, we'll take care of this parking, and then the shutdown checklist. We'll wrap this flight up, call it done and dusted, so I'll see you here in a second. Alright, we got her in our parking space here. Jetway's coming up right now. Let's go ahead and take care of this parking checklist. Parking brake is set, ATC contact is not an issue, engine anti-ice is already off, isolation switch can come on. It's up top here so you can see it. That's the isolation switch there. These are the armrests in case anybody was wondering what those were. APU bleed switch is already on. APU generator verified. Excuse me, that's on. That is external power we're not using. APU says off. Well, that's kind of weird. Why would we turn the APU off? Whatever. Here's what we're gonna do. Engine fuel cutoff switches first. There's that. Open the main exit door there. That'll let passengers start getting off. I wonder if you can do a deboard. Here, try that. Let's try that. Well, now it doesn't want to work, so I guess we're not deboarding. Okay, so engines are off. APU is on. Let's see. Okay, now we'll go. So that's the parking checklist there. So they're offload now. Now we'll go into the shutdown checklist. How's that sound? Sounds good to me. So, APU goes off at this point. Off. There we go. And now there's no noise as a result. Interesting. Fuel cutoff switches are already cut off. Red anti-collision lights go off. That's these ones right here. Seat belts and no smoking signs can go off. Those are over here. Off. Off. There we go. Primary electric pumps off. We might as well just hop up top here, huh? Primary electric pumps off. That's these guys here, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Primary engine pumps stay on. That's these two right here. Fuel pump switches all go off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doors are already open. Gangway's already taken care of. Engine bleed switches come off. Off, off. APU bleed might as well go off as well. Packs can go off. Off, off. Recirc fan goes off. You can't actually do anything with that, so we'll leave it as is. Same with trim air. Cargo heat, I never did find that switch. Engine and wing anti-ice are already off. Window heat goes off. You can't change those either. Emergency light goes off or is disarmed. There we go, unarmed. Yaw dampers off. Whoop, you just click one of them. IRS selectors off. That's these guys here. Off, off, off. You gotta be careful when you use the mouse wheel. It bounces right back really quick. Generator control switches off. So, come on. Oh, it doesn't let you do that. Never mind. Can't do that. Utility bus switches off. That's these two right here. Utility bus switches off. APU generator off. Doesn't let you turn it off. And then it says, if still on, turn the APU off. External lights all need to go off at this point. Logo lights. And let's see, bus tie switches off. They already are. Yep. And battery off. So right click to open the cover. Turn off. Right click to close the cover. And we are now in cold and dark. So welcome to the rainy Bahamas, ladies and gentlemen. That was actually a pretty good flight. The landing was crazy, wasn't it? That was nuts. It's a good thing I took over when I did, or the aircraft would have just stalled. So I probably should have taken over a little sooner since I kept getting the real quick stall warning. That buzzing or clicking sound, that's the stick shaker is what that is. So let's go ahead and take care of ACARS real quick. We need to finish that up. There's probably a bunch of overspeeds and other stuff on here. Yep, stall recovery. All kinds of stuff. Wow, that was just crazy. I'm sure they're going to look at this PIREP and go, what on earth did you do? But we managed to land it. What was our landing rate? Taxi to gate, minus 137. That's not bad. That's a good landing rate, all things considered. Did float it just a little bit. So we used 7,042 pounds of fuel. So it looks like maybe it already included additional fuel for, what do you call it? come on, brain function, for ballast fuel. So, okay, noted. Anyway, there we go. Let's finish this. File the PIREP. It's been filed. Forms reset. We can close that out. Take one more look at this beautiful aircraft. You're going to see it again later today when we do the live stream. Actually, you'll technically see it today in the live stream before you're actually watching this video, because I won't have time to edit this video until after the live stream is done. So there she is, beautiful National Airlines colors. I do love their colors. I'm going to go ahead and just throw this request out there on this video, because I know the president and CEO of National Virtual Cargo watches these, and I thank you for that, sir. Could you do a repaint on this with a National 757 that has winglets? Because I know National does have some, so I'd like to see it with the winglets. But other than that, I thank you for this paint job, and I thank you all for joining me on this flight. If you haven't had an opportunity yet, please subscribe to my channel. It's as easy as clicking a button. It doesn't take very long. We are over 1,600 subscribers at this point, and I gotta tell you, I'm still overwhelmed every day. I never imagined we'd even get to 1,000, to be honest with you. And you know, a lot of you have been following me on Twitch as well now. I think we're up to 66 followers on there. So if you're a fan of Twitch, even if you don't get an opportunity to always hop on my live streams, do me a favor, hop on over to Twitch and click the follow button there as well. And what is it? Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, all of that good stuff. I started to put an occasional post on Facebook, and I think every time I upload a video, it goes to Twitter anyway. And I know when I upload or when I finish a live stream on Twitch, or when I put a comment on Twitch, that goes to Twitter as well. So, once again, I thank you all for everything. Let's hop over to the website, take one real quick look at things, and then we will wrap this one up. Alright, here we are back on the website, obviously, and this is the pilot page. You scroll down just a little bit here. You can see that the flight is no longer in there. I still need to finish this one, don't I? Scroll down here to Flight Operations, view my PIREPs, and this was our last flight here, NCR 131. That was us, Orlando to Freeport International, in the first time ever on the Captain Mac channel, the Boeing 757-200. Took us 43 minutes to complete the flight, and our gross revenue was $30,625, and the fuel cost, we spent more in fuel. I shouldn't have put the extra fuel in, I guess. Obviously, we're going to have all of those stall recoveries here. And those were just the real quick buzzes. And then the last one here, obviously, we said, okay, we're done with that. Yeah, well, actually, it's way down here. So stall recovery. Now, it says after a minimum speed of 137 knots. But it said that our landing speed was 128. So that's kind of crazy. But there you have it. Negative 137 feet per minute on the landing. Not a very far flight, but it was a good time. I enjoyed it very much, and I hope that you guys did too. Because of the way things are set up with National, because of our amazing prowess and flying skill, they fly us all over the world to take special flights for them. So if you have a flight request, please don't hesitate to send it to me in an email there. You could put it in a comment. Hopefully I'll catch it and I can write it down or something like that. But you can always send me an email. Just click the About tab on my YouTube page there, and good to go. So that being said, I don't think there's anything else other than to say keep the blue side up unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all.